Hello students, today we will study the chapter 4 of your book Beehive. Chapter name is A Truly Beautiful Mind. A Truly Beautiful Mind, which is a story about Albert Einstein, a great scientist that highlights his interest in mathematics and physics. The prose elaborates on how he worked to discover the theory of relativity, his likes and dislikes, and the attribute of human feelings that he experienced for mankind in his lifetime, and worked for world peace and democracy. So, in this chapter, we read that Albert Einstein, who was a genius scientist, was born on 14 March 1879 in Ulm, a city located in Germany. He couldn't talk until he was 2.5 years old, but when he started talking, he would repeat every word twice. His playmates would often refer him as Brother Boring. His mother thought that he was a freak with an abnormal large head. As a child, Einstein loved playing with mechanical toys, and when his younger sister, Maja, was born, he inquired about her wheels like a toy would usually have. His school headmaster told his father that he had no hopes for young Albert and considered him to be foolish. When he was 6 years old, Einstein learned to play the violin on his mother's insistence and became a skilled violinist. However, he was not a bad student as he scored good marks in almost every subject in school, while his family used to stay in Munich. By the time he was 15 years old, Einstein started feeling uncomfortable with the school's regimentation, so he left it for good. When Albert's parents moved to Milan, they left him with relatives and he continued his education in German-speaking Switzerland. Soon after he completed his schooling, he took admission at a university in Zurich. He felt that the university atmosphere was more liberal in accepting new concepts and ideas. Besides, he was greatly interested in physics and mathematics and wanted to pursue a career in this field. In 1902, Albert started working as a technical specialist in the patent office located at Bonn, where he would assess other people's inventions and secretly worked on his ideas about the theory of relativity. While at the university, he met Melvia Marek, a fellow student who was equally bright and intelligent. They fell in love and married in January 1903 and had 2 sons. However, their marriage soon flattered and they finally divorced in 1919. The same year, he married Ilsa, his cousin. In 1905, Einstein released his paper on a special theory of relativity. According to which time and distance are not absolute. This gave birth to be the most renowned formula which describes the relationship between mass and energy, that is E is equal to mc square. Later in 1915, he published a general theory of relativity that administered a new description of gravity. In 1919, a solar eclipse proved that his theory of relativity was accurate. In no time, his work was proclaimed by newspapers as a scientific revolution. Einstein was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921 for his works in physics, which are relevant even today. He was lauded by the press for all the honors that he received for his scientific theory. In 1933, when the Nazis gained control over Germany, Einstein immigrated to the United States of America. He did not want his scientific research to be used for destruction of mankind, so he moved from Germany. Further, the discovery of nuclear fission in 1938 led to a huge uproar among American scientists. So Einstein wrote a letter to the American President Franklin D. Roosevelt warning about the hazards of an atomic bomb explosion. However, in 1945, America developed the atomic bomb secretly and threw the bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That caused him acute mental agony. Deeply shaken, Einstein wrote a public memorandum to the United Nations to form a world government that could prevent recurrence of such massive destruction to mankind. In his last few days, he got involved in politics, thereby advocating democracy and world peace. In 1955, Einstein breathed his last to the age of 76 and is often commemorated as a great vision as much as we remember his scientific genius. So in this chapter, we illustrate the life story of the scientific genius Albert Einstein. He was not just a scientist but deeply concerned about human welfare. Due to this reason, this story is entitled as A Beautiful Mind.